Shalom, brothers and sisters, children of God, redeemed, called, bride of Christ, those ready to leave. Let's quickly run through just a few of the important ones I've managed to grab that are relevant to us for the ongoing war in the Middle East that is now broken out. First one, Israel readies the largest ground offensive in decades, vows to change the Middle East. Make no mistake, this is going to change the Middle East. Israel vowed to escalate its response to the attack by the Palestinian group Hamas with a ground offensive, and Joe Biden pledged support for Israel and issued a warning to anyone who might seek to take advantage of the situation. Israel carried out airstrikes across Gaza overnight into Wednesday as retaliatory bombing, which Gaza's health ministry says has killed at least 900 people, wounded 4,600 people, and flattened neighborhoods in the coastal enclave. On Israel's northern border, a salvo of rockets fired from southern Lebanon towards Israel prompted Israel shelling in return. More shells launched from Syrian territory landed in open areas, prompting Israel to return fire. At the White House, Biden told reporters that the United States had enhanced the military force posture in the region to strengthen deterrence, including moving an aircraft carrier strike group and fighter aircraft. We stand ready to move with additional assets as needed, Biden said. Let me say again to any country, any organization, anyone thinking of taking advantage, I have one word: don't. In an apparent reference to Iran and the proxies, right? So interesting. Next one, the calm before the storm. Now this for me, this is a story out of Israel by an Israeli living through this at the moment. And I've just highlighted here the pieces that are really special that we should take note of. A report from the north. I live in Galilee, same place Jesus came from. We know what's coming. You can literally feel the tension. You can almost cut the heaviness in the air with a knife. The question is not if, but when. Our hearts break at the sight of what is happening in the south of the country. We feel paralyzed. Army helicopters circle in the distance, but otherwise an eerie calm. It's the calm before the storm. How do you deal with this situation? You get on your knees. It's situations like these that bring you closer to God, because you realize how tiny you are and how big God must be, who has everything in his hands, including this current situation. He knows the background. He knows why this is happening. He knows what happens next and what the future looks like. This all or nothing situation in which the existence of the state of Israel is essentially at stake is nerve-wracking. Losing is not an option. Even most Israeli Arabs would rather live under Jewish rule than Muslim rule. This existential crisis offers the opportunity to again draw closer to the Creator of heaven and earth. When things are too good for us, doesn't our sinful nature easily move away from God? And don't we run shaken into the arms of God when we don't know what to do and are confronted with a situation in which we are completely overwhelmed? The answer is prayer. How powerful is that? It's absolutely amazing. It is absolutely spot on. And it ties on with what we are praying for Israel all the time, even before this war in the Middle East broke out now. We pray for the salvation of more Jews, to come to a saving grace knowledge of Yeshua HaMashiach, their Messiah, that the scales will drop from their eyes, that their hearts of stone will turn to flesh, and that they could be spared the time of Jacob's trouble. We know that the majority of the nation will pass through this time of cleansing, 7 years of really hard times, and a remnant will come out on the other side. There will be a larger killing and slaughtering of Jews than the Holocaust even accounted for by the time the tribulation wraps up. But they will come through, and those that come through, tested by fire, totally given over to Yeshua HaMashiach, will be a force to be reckoned with. But yet we pray. We pray for more and more to have their eyes open. There's things people don't think about when they struggle to pray for Israel. We pray for Israel because we are commanded to pray for Israel. We pray for the peace of Jerusalem because we are told to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. God cares about His land. And what we don't realize, that a lot of people don't think about, we're on the verge of the tribulation. We've done enough videos and proof on this. Go and check that out for yourself. We are at the cusp where most of us are waiting expectantly for the rapture and then the kickoff of Daniel's 70th week. Do you know what that means for Israel? That means that right now, in the midst of this onslaught by Hamas, Lebanon, Syria, Russia, all these countries coming against her to destroy and wipe her out, in there right now is 144,000 Jews that will be sealed by God as evangelists when we're gone to preach the truth of Yeshua HaMashiach. 144,000 of them are there right now. Things like that we forget. They're there, they're alive, they're in Israel. We see believers, Messianic Jews, dying daily for their country. We're praying for those families and their losses. We rejoice that they are with Yeshua and they are seeing the preparations now. They're part of the preparation committee, not the receiving committee. And it's amazing, but the heartbreak of those families, we pray for them that the Lord will comfort them in times like this. I'm getting off track, sorry. Next one. By any means necessary, Anti-Zionist college students cheer the Hamas massacre of Israelis. Across the United States, dozens of college student groups have declared solidarity with Hamas since Sunday, cheering the Palestinian terrorist group after it invaded Israel from Gaza, murdering hundreds of Israelis and took dozens more captive in the surprise attack. Scenes of Hamas terrorists abducting children, desecrating dead bodies have circulated worldwide and invoked global outrage. However, several chapters of Students for Justice in Palestine at places such as Brown University, University of Maryland, Tufts University, University of California, Los Angeles have all described the attacks as a form of resistance, demanding that others accept our right to liberate by any means necessary. When you need to liberate by murdering a baby and cutting up the body, you shouldn't even deserve the land. You should be thrown into the ocean with a millstone around your neck. And that's straight from me. Asaf Romarowski, a Middle East expert and the executive director of Scholars for Peace in the Middle East, told the Al Khamenei, the statements issued by anti-Zionist college students are morally obscene. Cheering mass murder in the name of decolonialism should be the final red line exemplified by the latest student groups who hold the Israeli regime responsible for all unfolding violence. Endorsing horrific mass murder is reprehensible on every level, and if we do not isolate these actions and comments, Islamic anti-Semitic terrorism in the academy will proliferate and rot our institutions of higher education. It is a sickness and an evil. We see the same thing here in South Africa since apartheid ended. All the time, the hatred and the thought process of you deserve it, and the farm murders and everything going on accepted by the ruling class. That is why they're pro-Palestine and pro what's happening right now, because they have that same sickness within them, where we can do these evil deeds because you deserve it. No, that is sick and twisted. You don't fix a wrong by creating a bigger wrong. PA President Mahmoud Abbas missing in action. We did see that he flew to Russia, and that should tell the world everything that it needs to know right now. In the midst of the biggest crisis in Israel, Abbas hops on a plane and off he goes to Russia. That says a lot. The other thing that no one's talking about is that Ehud Barak, that's against Netanyahu and trying to topple his government with the left on his side, he was at the airport as one of the first ones trying to get out of the country. Where's your solidarity with the Jews? Where's your support? Why haven't you grabbed the gun and gone to defend your country? You want to take over Netanyahu's job. What the actual heck? I saw pictures of a 95-year-old veteran dressed in an army uniform with a gun, getting ready to go out and fight. I saw Naftali Bennett, the previous prime minister, reporting for duty, getting his gun and things and going out to fight. These people all are coming together. Previous enemies, all standing like brothers side by side to fight for survival. And Barak, the rat that he is, fleeing to the hills. Epstein's buddy. Anyway, Hamas launches attacks on Israel and Abbas keeps a low profile, leading to speculation about his political motives. The military operation carried out by Abbas' rival puts him in an awkward position. Abbas said on Saturday the failure to implement legitimate international resolutions to halt Israel's continued injustices against the Palestinian people led to the explosion. Any opportunity, I've said this before, that this man gets to be given a microphone, he will only use it to spit and spew evil and vile attacks and accusations at Israel. He never even has to think about the question asked. What do you think about this new red rose? Israel must be destroyed. Do you like this new champagne we just decided? Israel must be brought down. Oh, that's all he can do. He's a one-horse pony, a one-trick pony. It's ridiculous. Abbas said on Saturday that, I've covered that, in a call with the French President Macron, one of our candidates, Abbas stressed the necessity of providing international protection to defenseless people who are subjected to bloody Israeli aggression. I don't even have words. If I was Macron on that side of the line, thank the Lord I'm not, the things I would have said to this twit, just on that comment that he made. I probably would have showed him the pictures of the children and the people and what really went down. And you want to talk to me about Israeli aggression right now? We're discussing your aggression right now. US-based Middle East expert Hassan Avat told the media line that the military operation carried out by Abbas' rival Hamas puts him in the awkward position. These kind of attacks by Hamas and Islamic Jihad weaken Abbas and the PA and belittle them in front of the people. This is why he's keeping quiet. His silence is a position. Not intervening is a position to protect his political project. He wants to appease the international community and regional players. Awad asserted that if Abbas says the wrong thing, it will result in backlash against Fatah and those who support him. That anyone still supports him boggles my brain completely. Last one, Herzog, President Herzog. Not since the Holocaust have so many Jews been killed in one day. As President of the State of Israel, I speak to you from our capital city, Jerusalem, under the dark shadow of war, as my nation continues to endure a savage attack from a cruel and inhumane enemy. To my mind, not since the Holocaust have so many Jews been killed in one day, and not since the Holocaust have we witnessed scenes of Jewish women and children, grandparents, even Holocaust survivors, herded into trucks and taken into captivity. Hamas has imported, adopted, and replicated the savagery of ISIS, entering civilian homes on a holy day, murdering in cold blood whole families, young and old, violating and burning bodies, beating and torturing victims, Jews, Muslims, and other faiths. The brutality, the inhumanity, the barbarity of monsters. Not humans, monsters. The bus driver at that musical event that all those young people were at that were massacred was a Palestinian. They took him as well. Because of Jewish aggression? A Holocaust survivor, not just one, multiple, spent their whole lives getting over what they went through in the Holocaust to now have to relive it at the very, very end of their lives again and be in the hands of monsters once again. How horrifying is that for them and what they've been through right now? That in itself is beyond even understanding. So again, God is in control. He's on the throne. He knows all. He sees all. Everything will work for good for God and His plans. And the enemy can fight as hard as they want to wipe Israel off the map and destroy them and remove their name from ever existing. He will not succeed. Even when Antichrist is fully in power, even when he comes and he controls everything, he still will not succeed. God will not allow it. And until we leave, pray for Israel. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Shalom.